If you're thinking about changing your career to become a hypnotherapist or a hypnotist, this video is for you. I'm Jonathan Butler. I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I am a RTT therapist, and I'm also the founder of Help For Hypnotherapists, where I help other hypnotherapists starting up to quickly build a successful hypnotherapy practice. And in this video, I'd like to share with you what it is you need to think about if you are considering making that journey. And there is a lot to think about. A lot to think about. It is a big decision. Any career change is a big decision. So I'm going to split this advice into a series of short videos. So if you'd like to learn everything about what I'm going to teach you about my knowledge and experience, please do subscribe to my channel and you will get those updates as they're coming out. I'm going to release them over the next days and weeks. So you'll get the whole picture of what you need to think about. So please do subscribe if you want to get all of that. So what's the most important thing to start with? And it really is thinking about, why do you want to do this? And I say that because many of us who are watching this video, you've probably come to be thinking about this and watching this video for two reasons. One is maybe you have been, quite likely you've been a patient. A lot of my patients, my clients come to me and say, Jonathan, I'd love to be able to do what you do. I'd love to be able to make the changes in other people's lives that I've seen myself. Maybe you've been bombarded with lots of marketing or lots of advertising telling you what a great lifestyle, what a great opportunity is to retrain as a hypnotherapist. So however you've come here, I'm going to share the advice that you want. But the first thing you need to think about is not the being drawn to something because it's taking you away from something you're not happy in. So if you're in something you're not happy in, it's very important to try and find something that you're happy in. But you need to make sure it's not just a shiny thing that's come along and grabbed your attention. You need to make sure it is the right thing for you. And I'm going to try and give you the information, the insights to help you make that rational decision. Because many of us, when we're not happy, whether it's in a job, in a relationship, quite often we become focused upon what we want to get away from rather than it is what we want to go to. So you need to focus upon and understand what it is that you want. So there are a number of great things about being a hypnotherapist. And the first of those things is you help people. You can help people. You can get immense satisfaction from seeing the difference you make in people's lives. It's a sensation that you're never going to get in the corporate world. So you can help people. It is a fantastic sensation. You can make a good living. You can have a great lifestyle. You can have the flexibility. You can choose where you work, when you work, even what country or continent you're in. So all of those things, and I can vouch that all of these things have become possible for me. You will also learn incredible life skills. The things you'll learn working as a hypnotherapist can give you incredible life skills for growing, improving your own life, and for making changes in the things that you do. And there is never a dull day when you work as a hypnotherapist. So there are a number of great things. But what is it that you want? What is it you need? And the first thing I'd like to talk about to follow that is, what are the attributes you need? What are those qualities that you need to be a successful hypnotherapist? And the first of these is really about, you actually really do need to feel a need to help people. You need to want to help people. You are probably somebody who is a giver. You are probably somebody who gets great satisfaction from helping people. It's part of how you show who you are. So that is really, really important. You need to be coming into this for the right reason, because yes, you can make a good living, but there are easier ways to make a living than doing this. So you need to be driven by that desire to help people, to make a difference in other people's lives. You need to be wanting to do something meaningful and fulfilling with your life. The next thing that is really, really, really incredibly important is that you have to get your act together to do this. Now, what do I mean by that? You cannot be a successful therapist. You cannot work doing this kind of work if you've not done the work on yourself. You need to be in a good place yourself, where you feel good about yourself, where you feel strong in yourself, where you have the ability to help others, because you can only help others when you've helped yourself to get into a good place. So that's really, really important. So do not come into this if you're not in that place. Do not come into this if you think that this is going to be a journey that's going to heal you. Because if you're doing work every day where you're working with other people and their problems and you're not in a good place, you're simply going to be piling on the issues that you have in your own life. You are not going to be able to do this kind of work. So that's really, really important. The next thing that you need to have, the next attribute that you really need to have, is you do need to be resilient. And that really follows on from my last point, because you will come across some difficult, challenging situations. You need to be resilient. You need to be able to deal with that. There will be times when you don't get the results that you want. There will be times when you get difficult clients who are in a bad place. You need to be resilient to deal with that. It won't all be swimmingly well every single day. So you do need to be resilient. You also need to be able to get the balance right of being able to, of being someone who really wants to help, someone who's caring, compassionate, there for their clients, but also being able to step aside and not get too involved. And I'm not just talking about being professional, that goes without saying, but you want to help people, but you cannot take on board people's problems. So you need to make sure that you actually can compartmentalize your work and your wider life if you're doing a role like this. So that is really, really important. As well as being resilient, you also need to be self-sufficient, because if you're working as a hypnotherapist, you're likely to be working alone, quite possibly working from home, working remotely. So it can be quite a lonely life. So if you're somebody who's good with that, that's great. If you're somebody who needs to be around people constantly, you need to think about how you're going to manage it. You need to think about, maybe, is this the right thing for you? The next thing is you actually need to recognize what you know and what you don't know, because this is something where you need to learn a lot of different things. You need to learn skills, you need to get knowledge, and it can be very, very overwhelming. So you need to be a person who can be self-sufficient, but who can also ask for help and recognize when you need help, because there are things that you absolutely will need help with. And this is one of the biggest challenges that I see for people, because not only are you learning a new skill to be a therapist, and there's a lot to learn, but for most of you, you're probably going to be learning as well how to start and grow a business. And even if you've got a business, you're going to be learning how to grow a different kind of business. So this is a lot to take on. This is a lot to deal with. So you need to make sure that you are able to focus on what you're good at, but be open and recognize that you do need help if you're not going to get overwhelmed by all those things that are going to come at you. So hopefully that's given you a good flavor of the kind of attributes that you need. The next thing you really need to think about is timing and readiness. And in terms of readiness, I touched upon this earlier, which is, it might well be that being a hypnotherapist or any kind of therapist is something you really want to do, and it's a really great thing for you to do. But are you ready to do that? Are you emotionally ready to do that? Have you got yourself in a place where you've helped yourself enough that you can help other people without becoming burdened with the work you're doing to help other people? That's really, really important. And when it comes to readiness, you also need to think about it as this as well, because even though you are doing this because it's a mission, it's a passion, you want to help people, you need to think about, is it the right timing for you for transitioning out of what you're doing? This is not something to do without a plan. And if you're making any kind of career change, any kind of job change, even if you don't want to be doing what you are doing now, we all need to pay the bills. We all need to have some certainty and control. So the timing of doing this is really, really important as well. The timing of your transition is really, really important. And this is something that you really, really need to understand. I'm going to talk more about this in future videos, but many of the people who've maybe been bombarding you with marketing, promising you this great lifestyle, you can have that. You can do their amazing training, get these amazing skills. But what they probably don't tell you too much about is about the fact that it's a journey to get there. Any career change is a journey. You are not going to suddenly finish your training, start the next day thinking you're going to get hundreds and thousands of clients. Like any business, you've got to put the time in, the effort in, you've got to establish yourself. You've got to know what you need to do to get yourself those clients. So that timing and transition is really, really important. And we work a lot on this with Help for Hypnotherapists, a lot on this. And one of the most important lessons that you can learn is actually don't wait till the end of your training to start focusing on how you're going to grow your business. You need to be doing the things in parallel, because you're not going to suddenly finish your training, have your qualification, have your certificate, and people just coming knocking on your door. It doesn't work like that. So that's really, really important. So how are you going to transition from what you're doing now to being a hypnotherapist? What does that look like? That's really, really important to get your head around. And this leads me on to about the mistakes that people make. And I see people making these mistakes all the time. They do their training, they pay a lot of money, they start doing practice sessions, getting great results for people, and they start the business, and suddenly the realization dawns upon them that they are starting again, that there is a lot of work to do, that there's a lot of competition. And it's much harder than anybody led you to believe. You can get there. You will get there. But mistakes that people make are not focusing early enough on the business side. You've got to start focusing on building your business at the same time you start doing your training. Otherwise, you're going to have a big hiatus after you've finished your training. So you need to be doing that. The second thing that's kind of related to this is to trying to do it all, because you're going to have so much coming at you. The training for doing your hypnotherapy, but then you're going to have all the business side, all the administration side, the marketing side, and you're going to be trying to learn how to do all these things. Then you're going to get people bombarding you. Maybe the same people who sold you your training to be a hypnotherapist suddenly trying to sell you their training for how to market their business. And all these things are going to be quite overwhelming. You're going to have stuff coming at you, working incredibly hard. So it's important to be focused, to know what it is that you need to do and not get sidetracked or diverted onto the wrong things. Otherwise, you're going to end up in this place, in that valley of death, if you make those mistakes. So I'm going to draw this first episode, this first video, to a close. And I'm going to be releasing for the next couple of days part 2 of this video, where I'm going to talk about the rewards and the risks of being a hypnotherapist. I'm going to go into more detail on lots of topics going forward. I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know in these videos. So, as I said earlier on, if you want to make sure you're getting all of that, it's coming straight to you, you're getting notified, please subscribe to my channel and you will see my videos, my new content as soon as they come out. And also, if you subscribe in there, please comment What would you like to know? Is there something I haven't talked about? Is there something you'd like me to explain? If you write a comment, I promise you I will respond in detail to your question, to your comment. So please subscribe, please comment, and I will cover what you've done. I'll either put a video out about it or I'll answer it in the comments. But I want to tell you everything you need to make an informed decision. And finally, you may find it helpful to go and see our website, which is www.boostacademy.com, which is a website. There's also a Facebook page where we've got a whole series of free content as well as some paid content where you can understand everything you need to know to build a successful hypnotherapy practice. As I said before, it's really important to understand how you're going to build your practice as well as build your knowledge to have that successful business, to help people and to have that amazing lifestyle that you really can have. So I'm Jonathan Butler. Thank you for listening. I look forward to sharing with you the next video. Please do subscribe, comment, tell me what it is you'd like to know.